YouTube, welcome back. Tonight on Kung Fu Science, I'm going to be talking about UFC 207. Absolutely awesome fights. Everybody did really well. I'm only going to talk about the two main fights: Dominic Cruz and Ronda Rousey's fights. Dominic Cruz versus Cody Garbrandt. Absolutely kick-ass fight. It went totally different than I expected it to. It went different than Dominic expected it to. Dominic's got this awesome footwork, this great head movement. He makes people miss a lot. But the thing is, Cody came in there prepared. He came in there willing to trade shots with him. Cody came in there, pretending to be all pissed and hot-headed the day before or during all the interviews and stuff. And I feel like, that was probably, he was doing the Conor McGregor thing. He was really hot and everything just to make Dominic think that he had the edge mentally, and obviously he didn't. And, Dominic comes in there and he's got all this awesome footwork and all this awesome head movement, but the problem with that is that Dominic doesn't have the power, the knockout power. He doesn't have the knockout power, and Cody very obviously does. He laid him down like 3 or 4 times in a couple of rounds. Maybe I think it was the 3rd round. Laid him down several times. Dominic's dancing around, and then Cody's over there doing the robot, doing all this crazy stuff with taunting him. And I think he probably could have finished him off on the ground if during those times that he knocked him down, he would have chased him, and came down with some hammer fists. But instead, he decided to do some taunting. So that was just the way he wanted to do it, I guess. And I guess he wanted to beat him on the feet, and he definitely did. I feel like he was definitely the winner of that fight. I wouldn't have voted it the other way. I love Cruz, and he was one of my favorites. I love his footwork and his work ethic, but he just doesn't have the power required for those close quarters exchanges. And Cody wasn't running away from the close quarters. Once they got close enough, he just laid into him, and it shows that. It worked well. Alright, so Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey. Ronda's return fight was absolutely terrible. She didn't throw anything. She didn't throw any punches. She didn't throw any kicks. She just stood there and got beat up. Friggin' Nunes boxed her up in 45 seconds or 48 seconds or something very short like that, in the 40 seconds mark. I did not see it coming that way. I thought, that, Rousey would at least try to take her down or do some exchanges or throw some strikes or something. I think maybe she threw one punch and a kick, but it's all just, oh man. Nunes obliterated her. She came in there like a lioness. I'm going to start paying attention to her. She talks her head off, talk, but, she is an awesome fighter, man. And, she doesn't talk trash. I don't mean that by the way she talks. She just talks a lot. When they put the mic in front of her mouth, she just talks. She's giving all the credit to her family and her friends and her girlfriend and her team and all that. So, it makes sense. It makes sense. But, wow. I did not expect that. That was incredible. I'm going to be paying attention to Nunez now, the lioness. Actually, very awesome. Very awesome. She boxed Ronda Rousey up like Ronda was a white belt. And, Ronda's probably going to retire now. She's probably done fighting forever. I hope that she doesn't get suicidal again. I hope she doesn't get really depressed. She lost. Her return fight was very bad, very poor performance. But, my condolences to Ronda. I hope that she doesn't take this too hard. She is a good fighter, and is a champion still. She's still a champion. She will always be a champion. But, her stand-up has been neglected, obviously, and her confidence was rocked. Her mentality was just off. Her mental state was off. She wasn't there from the beginning. Every time there was time for an interview, she would just walk away. They showed up to their stare-off. She'd walk away. At the end of the fight, she just walked right out the ring. That was it. So she was beat mentally a long time ago. And she just didn't accept it, or maybe she needed that $5 million payout to get beat up there at the end, and now she's done. So that's probably the last we'll see from Ronda Rousey as far as fighting goes. So anyway, as always, thank you for watching Kung Fu Science. What's in your Kung Fu?